You're on your ninth speech of the night. I'm going to try to be focused on two dimensions of what Doegling has that excites me. One dimension is Doegling as an idea, and the second is Doegling as a collection of individuals who can make a difference. When my wife and I first came together here a few years ago, we were very impressed with this as a place. People have commented, the monasteries are extraordinary. We also happen to be here at the occasion of the award of degrees and looking at this literally hundreds of young men and young women for the first time who had completed decades of training. We saw in front of us what an economist would call human capital on a scale that was phenomenal to me. And so the immediate question was, how can this resource be best used? The answers came during our visit here from some quite extraordinary individuals. That was the second dimension of excitement. Shartse Khensa Rinpoche, who was at that time the head of the managing committee of RDTS, was very clear that the period in which the monasteries felt that their role as the custodians of Tibetan Buddhist learning was under threat, that period was over. They had secured themselves as physical places, as places of scholarship. So the challenge was no longer protecting and ensuring the survival, it was making the most effective use of this learning that had been accumulated here on a scale that is unmatched anywhere else in the world. And the immediate perspective was that this utilization of knowledge and skills needed to be made accessible to the wider world through means which were new and different and additional to what had been the practice in the past. The practice in the past is that the individuals who had studied for years and years would then go out to Buddhist training centers in different parts of the world, and they would offer courses which were very valuable and useful to those who were dedicated to becoming Buddhist practitioners. But it was clear that there was benefits to be gained by those who were not going to become Buddhist practitioners. And that whole concept of making use of this reservoir of human capital to benefit the wider world in new ways, beyond the Buddhist training centers, was, I found, a very exciting concept. And then, in the shape of Namgyal Tsering, the man who was actually running RDTS, we had a different kind of leadership. A quiet, effective solidity who recognized that his message to us was, this community needs to see that something positive can happen. To use Dr. Tashi's concept, we needed achievable goals. We needed to show that there was something that could be accomplished. And that also struck me as a very exciting prospect. And now, with the benefit of 3 or 4 years of experience, I come back to those elements of excitement with renewed appreciation. First, on the people, because nothing happens without people on the ground. I don't have to elaborate on the people because you've seen them in front of you. You've seen Tenzin Takbala with water. You've seen Dr. Tashi with health. Yegala is digging into the possibilities of increased tourism in this area. The people are clear. What we need is another half a dozen of the Tenzin Takbalas, of the Dr. Tashis, who can turn an idea into concrete, achievable realities. That is the challenge, and the kinds of opportunities that are most pressing are not so much the challenges, the lack of water, the health issues. It is realizing the opportunities. And that brings me to my last point, which is, what is the idea? What is the exciting idea? Well, from the starting point of what we saw when we came here, I have had the pleasure of spending several springtimes after visiting Dogaling and Bailakupi with my wife, of trying to understand in practical terms, what does it mean to have a community that is the custodian of a resource that is a treasure to the world, and how can that potential be realized? And I have to say that my number one teacher in trying to answer that question has been His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Because the Dalai Lama has been speaking in the last few years, at least in my ear, about precisely the opportunities that exist to draw on this tradition of scholarship beyond and in addition to the Buddhist training centers and Buddhist scholarship that is familiar, and to make those insights, those traditions, the relevant aspects of those traditions, useful in a variety of ways, which he calls secular ethics, to activities, whether it's in the health professions, it's in the business world, it's in the educational system, where they can draw upon these traditions to make the world a better place. That's one element of his advice to the world. And the second element, it's already been referred to tonight, is his fourth commitment, which is to remind all of us, but in particular the Indian community, that the Nalanda tradition is an Indian tradition. It goes back to scholars who were Indian scholars. And that by reminding people, returning them, if you like, to the roots of this tradition, it will provide the foundation for a healthy collaboration, cooperation between the Tibetan communities that are here, because of the generosity of India in the first place, and the surrounding Indian community. And that may sound abstract, but it fits very well with the state of India in which these communities reside, with the Dogaling and Bailakupi reside. Because its image is of one state, many cultures. And believe me, Dogaling represents one of the jewels of the Karnataka, in the Karnataka firmament. So I'm really looking forward as we go into the future of picking up this idea of sustainable, responsible tourism, which I believe is one of the things that can actually generate some useful employment in the lay community. Because if there are visitors who come, they need support, they need guidance, they need information, they need to be fed, they need to be exposed to cultural traditions. And all of those things are potential opportunities for the Tibetans who live here. So those are the things that excite me, and I hope that either from those who are here tonight or from the friends of those who are here tonight, we can find a few more dedicated individuals to translate these ideas, the reimagining of Dogaling, into practical steps forward. Thank you.